This account is called Trainer Maxx, and I'm going to try and get every single brawler to max rank on this account. This episode's on Nita, but let me tell you the hard part about this challenge. I've got to get every single gadget, gear, star power, and a hypercharge if the brawler has one completely free to play, along with getting 1,000 trophies on that brawler. Plus, I've got to try and get as far down the mastery track as possible. I don't have to complete it, but I just have to get far. And I have to do all of this before I can even move on to the next brawler. So I'm going to be taking you on this journey from 1,000 trophies to 2,000 with Nita. I have loads of coins and power points left over from the Shelly video, so I've got enough to get her all the way up to level 9. So now let me get my bearings and see how I do in my first game. The game starts as any showdown game does, with just opening boxes, until I spot my first victim of this entire challenge, a Poco, who goes down. And now time to show you how good auto aim is, because it shoots the boxes instead of the berry that we know is there. But even with auto aim being a godsend, here the berry still walks into a smoke. And then I have to fight a Draco who does absolutely nothing. Then me and Bruce hunt down the Angelo, who just looks like another power cube to my collection. And my final enemy is a 7 power cube Kenji, but the stun is too good. And that secures our first win. Overall, I don't think Nita's too bad so far. I really hope I don't regret saying that later. Oh yeah, game 2. My first target was going to be a Miko, but he runs too far away and I can't hunt down. But it doesn't mean that I can't divert my focus to an Edgar, who is a pretty big counter to me. But this Edgar was just so god-awful that I managed to kill him anyway. And I know that didn't kill the barley, but it does look so satisfying to get them both at once. And with me having 5 power cubes, my pure aura is enough to push a bee into the top corner, allowing me to just one-tap her. And this is the greatest player we'll ever see, right? So I shoot him, miss, and then he just walks into the spikes anyway. What a game. And then I get enough points to purchase both the damage and the pet power gear. Okay, most of the low trophy games are pretty boring, so I'm just going to skip until the 400 trophies. But this isn't very helpful that it's Cavern Churn, which is not a very good map for Nita, as the middle bit can be an absolute hellhole. And as I'm saying that, the Shelly walks into the bush, meaning that there is now a Shelly in there as well. Well, at least there was. I don't think it's a pretty good idea to try and risk my life for 2 power cubes. It was. And this Leon saved my life, because if he hadn't attacked the ball, then I would have never known he was there and would have probably died. But I hunt down the ball, as I know that he would have been a bigger problem later. But now the biggest problem was Tara, which wasn't very helpful that she now had a hyper and a super, but still I had shot before she was able to get the hyper off. I know nobody actually cares about this, they just want to see the gameplay, but I did manage to get enough coins to be able to upgrade to power level 11, which will help a lot. Guys, is this a bot game? Despite being a bot game, I still have to run from a Carl, and meaning that I'm sandwiched between him, a Primo, a Dynamite, and a Gene. Luckily, the Gene and Dynamite get into a fight, meaning that I can swoop in and steal their power cubes. Now I'm stuck behind a Cactus, cornered by a Penny with a super, which she wastes. But I get the kill off on her anyway, leaving just me and El Primo. At least it would be, but El Primo just kills himself. And I finally save up enough coins to be able to get Hyper Bear, which later will show to be pretty useless. And then I start playing Heist. Now, I have a rival Nita in this game, meaning that I have to assert my dominance from an early stage. And after some lovely replay lag, we see that I killed the Edgar that tried getting on our safe. And for some reason, the enemy team just let me walk straight through the middle of the map, leaving just me and a Tick to fight each other, which obviously I won. Now, Bruce was getting some lovely damage on that safe, chipping down its health slowly with that Hyper Bear star power. But the Tick and the Edgar respawned, meaning that I had to run. Luckily, Bruce was able to deal with the Tick, but the Edgar needed a Bruce again, allowing Bruce to just lock back onto the safe. After one final push, I managed to get Bruce back onto the safe, bringing their health all the way back to only 5%. And that was enough to win us the game. Now, I didn't get any videos of it, but I did get star player. Then I tilted a lot. And I mean a lot. So remember when I said earlier, when I said, oh, we're off to a good start. I hope this doesn't come back to bite me later. Yes, it did. I went down to 869 trophies, meaning that I had to push all the way back up. On the bright side, I did manage to get the hypercharge. And on my push back up, I managed to get this brilliant game. The game started with an Edgar thumbs down in the boxes, I think. And then I tried chasing him down, but then he popped his shield and I had to run. Luckily, I managed to scare him off. The Edgar came back later, but this time I had my super, meaning that I would just put him down and stunned him, getting all of my health back and him dead. Then the Angelo killed the Colt, leaving just me and him left, so I popped a hyper and started chasing him down with Bruce. And after one of the best jumps of all time, he just ran into the smoke by the end of it, giving me a good lot of trophies. And now, the final game. And honestly, I didn't have a very fun time playing this because not only do I now hate Nita because he's so bad at Showdown, I also had to sit in a bush for half the time to wait for 5 people to die so that I wouldn't lose any trophies. And I followed Bruce to hunt down this Kenji, but unfortunately he was using the wrong gadget that I wanted him to be using, allowing him to escape. And then I did a really silly move when I decided to try and put down Bruce to follow him, but now with no one to protect me, I died. Luckily, I came 3rd, which was enough trophies to get me nicely to exactly 1,000 trophies on Nita, aka Max tier. So yeah, with a 2nd tier Max on this account, it is coming along pretty well. And with Colt being up next, it should be a lot easier to push to tier Max, so hopefully it will actually be on time. Now, I do truly hate this brawler from now on, as I tilted quite a bit when I decided to play with some of my friends on Heist, and went, as I said, down to 869 trophies, which was not nice. So anyway, thank you for watching. Good night.